You know by the drums.
Yes.
That it must be Monday night, our brand new time slot.
5 o'clock on the west, 8 o'clock on the east.
That's crazy. It's crazy that you could have this much fun this early in the night.
I know. My dogs are barking, and I'm not talking about my feet.
That's all right. Let them go. It's a come as you are show.
Yes.
We want people to enjoy no matter what you have going on at your place. You are welcome to join this party. Dogs barking and all. Because tonight is episode 70 of the EriDan Film Festival. And this is our, let me see this right, 89th movie that we have reviewed and talked about. So we've
done 19 double features.
We have had at least, we had one triple feature, right? And then
that's right.
That threw off everything. So yeah, but tonight, this should be an exciting night. We're going to talk about Grease, back to the musical genre. So this is going to be fun. And so Dan, can people join us if they wanted to talk?
Yeah, it says right there on the screen there. If you want to be a guest, not want to, if you want to be a guest, EriDanLive.com.
And so we want people. And Grease, come on, Grease, you've seen this movie. You have an opinion. You have opinions to share. We know. So don't just hide in the comments. You join us. We want to hear your opinions. And we're going to bring in some people and hear their opinions too. Shall we do that?
Let's just bring them all in.
Let's bring them all in. And I know Reagan's not with you, but she's with you in spirit. So I went the Old West route. Yeah. Hi, Stacy and Wade. How are you?
Good.
How are things in Chippewa, Pennsylvania? Which is
interesting this week.
Yeah, it's been.
Really?
Oh, we'll have to find out why.
We will. That intrigue. Oh, stay tuned for that.
Speaking of intrigue.
Oh yes, let's bring in some intrigue.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
Oh, it's Grease ain't the word.
Oh wait, you were Coach Calhoun a moment ago. I was all ready for that.
Oh, but you're not. What you're not ready for is this. It's our own Pink. Oh my goodness, Denise. I feel so underdressed now. Judy's go drop. Judy's go drop out.
There were so many great choices.
And you're about the same age as the actors were in the film.
Right? These middle-aged women playing teenagers.
What I didn't understand, well, they weren't middle-aged, but still. No. Rizzo was the oldest at 33. What I didn't understand was if you're doing dye and tinting class, why are you doing it on yourself?
Yeah.
Well, they were doing it on each other.
Right. So she failed. Her hair turned pink because someone else failed, not because she failed.
She did so badly, it just naturally turned pink.
Maybe she mixed the dye.
Oh.
All right.
Or you're overthinking.
Making excuses.
I overthink a lot. If you want to talk about Grease too, I've got a lot to overthink about that movie too. But that's a whole other.
You should put that on the wheel.
Denise, do you have Twinkies and wine?
No, I'm drinking water because I have to go back to work. But
so no Twinkies and wine will be later. It's a dessert wine.
We almost went and bought some, and I'm like, heck with it.
It totally would have been worth it. All right, let's look at Grease. Grease is the word according to the poster. 1978. John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, Stockard Channing, Jeff Conaway. $6 million and a worldwide take of $387 million. Critics 76, audience 87%, according to the people at Rotten Tomatoes. But I'm not sure everybody here agrees with even those higher scores.
You know, I there's a few things I want to say up front.
Please.
I know I've said this before because I said it to my son. There's a reason why I love the first day of school, and it's this movie.
Yeah.
Because going back to school, and then in Grease 2, they have a whole song called Back to School at the beginning. But it was the excitement of not seeing anybody all summer and going back. That doesn't happen anymore. Like kids like hang out all summer now.
Yeah.
But just going back and the whole newness of it all.
Yeah.
And I also think it might have something to do with my attraction for blondes.
Ooh, it could have been your. I know why it just always made me very disappointed about the last day of school because we never got carnivals like that when school was over. It's like, what was this last
when
day
the
of school?
creepy judge would show up to dance with the high schoolers?
Well, it takes a little bit of everything.
I mean, in real life, Vince Fontaine was 44 and Dinah Manoff was 21, so it was still creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
not
Jeff
a
Conaway, turns out, Patty Simcox, when they lifted her dress, they kept rehearsing that over and over. And it turns out that Kinnicky and Patty Simcox in real life had a little fling in the dressing room. They both admitted to that in several interviews that I saw.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, Patty Simcox.
I did not read that. Adam is in the comments. He's working, but he had to say that he doesn't like musicals normally. And this one had some cringe moments.
It did.
Now, was this anybody? Now, I believe it was Reagan's first time. Reagan's not here, but this was Reagan's first time watching this. Is that right?
It's her first time watching the movie. She had seen the musical at a friend's high school.
Okay.
I think I'm in the same boat. I don't think I've ever watched the whole movie before.
Really?
Really?
Well, I was never a big fan of the stage show, so the movie didn't really pull me in.
And Blackhawk didn't do this while you were there?
No.
No.
At least not when I was in the musical.
Missed opportunity.
And Reagan didn't make it through the whole thing.
Oh my!
I was really curious to hear what Reagan had to say because I have to be honest, like it is impossible for me to divorce myself from the history of seeing this movie. Like I absolutely could not watch this with fresh eyes.
Oh no!
I have to admit that off the top.
I do have comments from her, but they're not extensive. So
okay. I mean, I love this movie. I mean, there's just no doubt. To me, this is gold in so many ways. And yeah, the age thing is absolutely an issue, right? For some of the characters, especially, where it feels like. But I'm glad at least they aged everybody up. Like even the extras were aged up, where nobody looked like they belonged in high school.
Right.
Because that would make it really bad if like the extras were all like 14 to 18-year-olds and you've got 33-year-old Stalker Channing roaming the hallways.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, Eve Arden was one of the youngest characters in this movie. That's the great
Joan Blondell was one of the youngest characters.
Did Caesar.
Oh my gosh.
Long distance running.
Yeah.
Cross country
running.
Yeah, or John Travolta's singing.
Right?
Oh, Sandy. Come on. When he starts speaking during Oh, Sandy, I lose it every time. Oh, Sandy, my darling.
And when the hot dog does the spin and jumps into the bar at the end.
The fact that they use the intermission. It warms my heart. I love it so much.
Same. Okay, I know the thing about Grease has always been that these characters are way too old, but I'm not going to lie. Watching it now, I was like, they don't look as old as I remember them looking. High school students look like children. And I'm like, what are those little, those 8th graders doing at high school? Very young children, 8-year-olds. No, they're appropriately aged. I forget how old.
Well, and at least for Dan and I, when this movie came out, we were 8. So John Travolta did look like high school students. Yeah. Olivia Newton-John did look, because it's like, high school students, those people are really old.
Well, John Travolta was a sweat hog. He was a high school student, as far as we knew.
Well, that's true. And he was only 23, right, when they filmed this in 77.
He was 22. He was 23 when it came out.
Okay, so something like that.
Yeah, he was marginally not too old.
Yeah.
And I think this is the number 7th selling soundtrack of all time.
That's amazing. And I remember that.
That's what I remember is like everybody had that record.
Mm-hmm.
Back then.
I don't think I have this record. I think I got rid of my copy. I did not hold on to my Grease.
What?
Grease soundtrack. Isn't that sad?
It's hard to hold on.
I got rid of my vinyl. Although it was a lovely fold out. I remember it was a double record. All those extra Sha Na Na songs that are on there that weren't featured in the movie. You get all these bonus Sha Na Na songs.
Yeah, there's a lot to this movie. I mean, a lot of people have passed. A lot of the older actors. They were supposed to. This was supposed to be a trilogy.
Really?
There was supposed to be a summer school because at the very end, the Sweathogs, the T-Birds,
Yeah, they all go to summer school.
T-Birds, wrong movie. They were supposed to go to summer school because they failed gym.
Yeah, Coach Calhoun even set that up.
Yeah.
Good.
And Eugene, who was just in the news,
Eddie Deason.
he was just in the news for like going crazy at a restaurant somewhere.
Oh,
He was in Grease 2 as a senior 4 years later.
Well, Dee Dee Khan was in Grease too.
But she came back because she had to get chemistry. So they gave her a reason why she was back, but it made no sense why Eugene was back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Which is all the more reason to watch Grease 2.
Grease 2 is actually a good movie too. I hate to say it. I really like Grease 2. It's cheesy.
Okay. By that statement, it's a good movie too, which means you have to believe that this was a good movie.
I just think it's a good movie, period.
I mean, this movie has got iconic lines. It's got iconic songs. I mean, obviously, it's not a perfect, it's not a perfect movie.
I don't think perfect was even in the ballpark they were shooting for.
I mean, it was the highest grossing musical ever at the time.
So did it make that 387 million then, or
no? That's adjusted.
It's adjusted.
No, I think that's what it actually made. That
I thought it made 100 and some on its initial release.
Oh yeah,
no, it was re-released multiple times.
They did a re-release like a year later. Because I remember it played at Beaver Falls at the cinema. Remember the old cinema downtown Beaver Falls?
Yeah,
the one plex.
Grenada.
Was that? Yeah, exactly. Granada, Tomato.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing it there. I think twice.
I never went there. Didn't even know there was one.
I still have my soundtrack. I don't think.
And it also it was on TV. I mean,
that's when I saw it on TV.
I probably saw it 6 times before it even came out on video.
Well, I have a distinct memory of watching it when I was very young, which obviously not very young, but at least probably 9 or 10, and then watching it again when I was 17 or 18 and being appalled by the content that I had totally not recognized or understood when I was when I was 9 or 10. The whole, defective typewriter bit. No, I had no idea what they were talking about.
And she says fungu when she's singing Sandra Dee. Mm-hmm. She says the F you in Italian, which they edit that out in the TV version.
Yeah, the TV version edited it a lot out. I didn't realize that Kenickie and Rizzo thought they were pregnant the first time I watched it on TV. So I had no idea until we started watching it. I think we tried to get Reagan to watch it with us last year or the year before, and she was like having nothing to do with it and walked away. So,
well, the thing I love is there was a lot of people complaining about the misogyny and the sexual overtones, which is what they went for, because Olivia Newton-John, there's a quote of her, people said, what do you think? It became a huge, a big deal, especially during Me Too. People were asking about Grease. Should it be banned? Should they take it off? And she's like, are you people nuts? It's a movie filmed in the 70s about the 50s.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just go enjoy yourself for a couple hours.
Or don't.
Or don't. Like Adam clearly didn't. He felt that it was average at best, even if you took out the music. And how could you take out the music? I mean, the music is amazing.
Oh my gosh. Like, how can anybody listen to Grease Lightning without doing this along with the Like, I mean, despite myself,
I can, because it's John Travolta singing it. The guy can't sing for nothing.
And in the musical, Kenickie sings the song.
Yeah, Jeff Conaway sang it on Broadway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No,
but
he
Travolta
was Danny on
wanted
Broadway.
The song, and they gave
Wasn't
it to
he
him.
Danny on Broadway, or was he Kenickie on Broadway?
He was Danny on Broadway. That's right.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know who sang it on Broadway. You're right.
It was supposed to be Kenickie sings it on Broadway.
That's
and
right.
John Travolta wanted to sing it because Jeff Conaway's like, I'm going to get to sing it. And John Travolta's like, I think I'm going to do it. And they switched it.
And he did it
Kenickie's
so Elvis-like. That it's disturbing. It's like it's because I mean, bottom line is whether you like Travolta. I don't know if anybody likes Travolta singing. Although I do have an album by John Travolta. No, but for some reason,
I have an Eileen Travolta.
The way he sang "Grease Lightning" is just it. I don't know. It's a little bit over the top.
Cringy.
But I mean, for me,
it's painful.
that Born to Hand Jive segment, the entire Born to Hand
That's
Jive.
not Grease Lightning.
No, I know, but I'm getting back to the music
Okay.
and my love of some of the music from this. That whole hand jive is just gold from beginning to end. That whole sequence, I could just watch that scene on repeat for like an entire afternoon.
Yeah.
Love that. I love that whole thing. I was born to hand jive.
For you.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is just a memory of my childhood and watching it. I remember, Eric, like we talked about last week, when we watched it in your room with
Right.
two girls from
Other
Geneva,
students, yeah, some
and
college.
they were very offended by it. And I'd never, I'm like, what? And then as I watched it, like I finally understood
New
why people
eyes.
could be offended.
Yeah.
But now watching it, as a 51-year-old, I'm like, come on, it's not that bad. These kids in the movie. But apparently the musical was worse.
The original before they watered
original.
it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they watered it down because they almost got an R rating for this movie.
Oh.
Interesting.
So
No idea.
you two remember if the last song was sung in chorus when Mrs. Taylor?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Like,
Eric did the
When we go out at night.
so your sophomore year, is that correct?
Sure. I have no idea about that.
I remember Eric did
I remember that. That's all I remember. I remember singing it because it was that there's a lot of words to that song.
Yeah.
It's kind of a crazy.
Yeah, when it started playing, I'm like, wait a minute, I remember this.
Wait, isn't that when I was Click Dark?
Was it part of the American Tribute of Music or something like that? It might have been.
Oh no, that was Only You, and you slid across the floor and you
part of that as
knee
well.
pad.
I
I think that might have been senior year.
that was something else. But
Is there a video of that? Is that on YouTube?
I don't think so. Not yet.
We have a
Now,
kinescope.
I do have one gripe, one question. So the car flies at the end. Is this what we're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the theory, right? The theory is that Sandy died when he saved her in the water at the beginning. She actually died, and that this entire thing was her dream and her getting to heaven. And the end is the car taking her to heaven.
I have not heard that.
None of you have heard that? Oh, I thought for
No.
sure that would be a big topic. That's like all over the internet. The kids. are
Denise
gone
is like,
off.
oh yeah, Denise knew that.
I have heard that. Yeah.
Denise, we do have to backtrack for just a second with Denise. Just had the wig on hand.
Yeah.
She's like, what wig?
And I almost considered being a different character because it's not the appropriate hairstyle. But yeah, you guys don't have wigs on hand for wig pub crawls. Is it just me?
No, it's
Just something my friends do. All right.
I feel like I'm missing out now.
Me
Oh
too.
yeah, there were many years where the prerequisite for my Halloween costume was getting to wear a wig. So I have quite a few on hand.
It's just perfect. I'm so impressed. I was grossly underprepared.
I know. Come on, guys. All you need is a white T-shirt, roll up the sleeves.
You're good to go.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking I should slick my hair up.
I will say one thing you could probably have a drinking game with this movie of the amount of tossed cigarettes. Not as many smoked cigarettes, but it doesn't matter if every scene is just like.
They were only probably a nickel a pack back then.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true.
Wow, we just throw in cigarettes everywhere, people.
I saw a stat for one of the movies, either this or Grease 2, that they went through like 500,000 sticks of gum.
Oh yeah, that was
Filming the
this.
movie.
Yeah.
Was that this one?
Yep.
And there were like 500 members of the cast. I mean, it was a huge cast with all the extras.
All that gum, I'll tell you. I could see them chewing. I'm like, will you stop chewing the gum? It's funny how things are noticeable when you're not used to seeing it. The cigarettes are very noticeable, but gum, I don't know. I don't see a lot of people chomping on their gum lately.
I mean, the problem also that I had is, okay, so he went to the beach. Now, they don't say what beach. And the original the original movie takes place in Chicago, or the play is in Chicago. So he went to the beach. He might have gone to Ocean City. He might have gone to LA. Who knows where he went to the beach?
Lake Michigan.
Maybe Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
But here, there's palm trees. So it's obviously they're in California or somewhere like that. He never mentioned what high school he went to. The entire
Okay.
time, the word Rydell never came out of his mouth.
Right.
That is my biggest issue. I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of issues with this movie, and I am willing to overlook all of them and embrace them and love this movie as it is. However, that was my biggest question: is they spent the entire summer together, and then it's a shock that they show up at the same high school. Like, how many high schools are in this town? Did it never come up? I mean, they do slightly explain, I thought you were going back to Australia, change of plans,
right.
in the amount of
Yeah,
time.
that was pretty lame, actually. Change of plans.
Yeah.
And she was only Australian because Olivia Newton-John could not do an American accent. Like, they wanted her in the movie, and they changed the entire thing because they're like, she can't do an American accent, so too bad.
Well, apparently she can't do an Australian accent either. Reagan texted me when she was watching it yesterday and said, and Sandy's from Sydney, Australia.
She actually is.
She's not.
Olivia Newton-John's not from Australia?
No, she's from England. Reagan's like, she was really, I don't know. I have to read her comments.
Sorry.
What was that?
That's the beginning of the movie. That's the most amazing beginning of a movie ever. You know, is the beach. This is doesn't that make you think of the beach? You're like, oh yeah, beach scene.
It's the same rocks that are in every movie where they have a beach in there. The
Including
rocks in the background are the exact same ones that were.
including
The
Blood
plot does not hold up to scrutiny, but neither do a lot of movies' plots, so I don't really fault it too much for that.
So
Adam wants the music to stop. Adam is not enjoying the music.
So Olivia Newton-John was born in England, lived in, and she moved to Australia when she was 6, and her maternal grandfather, who's Jewish, is Nobel Prize winning physicist Max Born.
Wow.
Wow.
How about that?
The Max Born.
Yeah.
But she did go to
Jive too.
Jason's dead.
She did go to school in Australia. And for Grease 2, I found out that the leading person that they wanted originally to play Michael, her cousin, was Rick Springfield, because he's also Australian.
Go for it.
He's also Australian?
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
And so they were going to have him, and then he didn't get it. But think how that was they filmed that before General Hospital. So imagine if this would have happened instead. I mean, look where Max Caulfield is now. Exactly. The guy who played Michael Carrington.
Oh, yeah.
Although Michelle Pfeiffer, for some reason, has a New York accent in the movie. We won't talk about that movie. The other problem I had with this movie was it's like the first day of school, and they don't see each other till the pep rally on Friday.
Right.
Before the game, which is, I guess, on Saturday. Like, how does that happen too? Like, how do they go all week without seeing each other?
Might be
Well, especially when you've got basically a transfer exchange student. Usually those are, announced. People know who they are. It's not like they just slide in under the radar.
Yeah, they made reference to the fact that some other people had seen him, right? But apparently not Danny.
Well, was Danny even in school, or was he skipping?
Yeah, we never really saw him in class, did we?
He was in the auto shop all the time.
Well, he was talking to the coach, so he was at least enrolled.
Yeah. True.
We've got to bring it. Cody's here, actually. Hold on. Coming to us from a dark beach in the middle of California. Now, Cody.
I don't think that's California.
No,
I'm not sure that's Cody.
I wish I was at a dark beach. That'd be pretty fun right now.
So thanks for joining us. Drive safely.
Oh, I'm driving safely. Don't you worry. If mine is bad, just kick me out. That's fine.
Actually, we can hear you. You're okay.
This reminds me of some of the old Rick appearances.
We did have a couple. We've had people join from, at least every once in a while he drives under a light and we can see. It looks like Cody got his hair cut.
Yeah,
you got a mohawk going there?
I did. Hang on. Let's see.
Whoa.
Wow.
Dang. That's awesome.
I needed
That's a different
fresh
look.
cut. It was time.
Yeah, I know, but you could have greased it back like Danny Zuko.
You've done this in the front.
I
Yeah,
thought
the
about it.
curl.
I thought about it.
I used to do that when I had hair.
All right, well,
But
so we've definitely got some people who are maybe not infatuated with Grease with us tonight. Where do you land on your opinions of the Grease movie, Cody?
Oh, this is tough because my mom loves this movie and I love musicals in general. Grease just doesn't do it for me. I don't know if it's the creepiness of John Travolta in this movie or if it's the it's weird now like this. I'm surprised this movie hasn't been just completely wiped off the face of the earth with everyone's
There are
bringing
worse.
politics and everything into everything because of how they talk about women and everything in this movie is just not exactly tasteful in today's day and age. So
Well,
I
they
don't
still
know.
show
I like
Holiday
the
Inn,
movie,
and that
I
is Bing
enjoy it.
Crosby in blackface. So
Right.
And have you heard high school kids talk to each other? I mean,
Right.
Very
That's the
true.
thing. Yeah.
Guys basically have 5 o'clock shadows is a little weird, but
and that was the Pink Ladies.
oh, nice.
yeah, exactly. I do like the movie. I enjoy the music. I think it was very, very, very well made. It's not a movie that if TV I'm gonna be like, oh yay, let's.
Well, it's not the soundtrack you were listening to in your car before you joined us.
No, not at all. No,
But
I'd
it is one
probably
of those
rather
that
watch the commercials than that movie.
it is one of those movies or the soundtrack where, especially after watching the movie the other day, where out of the blue I'll just be like, humming or singing one of the songs. A little bit of earworms.
They're part
Yeah.
of our childhood.
Songs. Yeah.
It is. It's a huge part of my. I mean, I look at movies that influenced me growing up. I mean, this one, Somewhere in Time, that you all hate, Superman, the original Superman, Back to the Future.
That makes sense. Christopher Reeve. And,
Well, finally, you named someone who could act in it by that fourth one there. But, whew.
Well, 2 of them have.
Driving.
Did you know that Hopelessly Devoted to You was shot after the movie? They were trying to find a single for her, and they wrote that song afterward, and then recorded that scene. The movie had already wrapped at that point,
Wow.
so her wig probably looks a little different.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she was actually going to do something with the paper besides drop it in the lake and then rub it over John Travolta's face. It's a very odd move.
Yeah,
It's like, wait, why did she need paper? She didn't write anything down.
but it was sprayed with
Piece
perfume.
in the kiddie pool.
Oh, Jesus.
It was yeah. So Dan, you actually know somebody who was in this movie. You've actually
Yeah, Dinah Manoff, who plays Marty Maraschino, lives here on Bainbridge, and my wife and her husband are both in the real estate business. They work in the same office at Sotheby's, and they just got back from. I was going to try to see if she'd pop on and say hi, but they just
I've given you 20 name drops for her already. But has she ever told you? Have you ever gotten any Grease stories, or have you ever talked to her about this at all?
They did a fundraiser. I don't know. Josh was really young. He was probably 8. It's probably about 8 years ago. They did a fundraiser at the local theater. And they played the movie, and she got up and talked about it.
Oh, cool.
And just said it was like a blur. I mean, it was her first major thing. I mean, she went on and did. She's the first person killed in Child's Play. She's the first person Chucky kills.
Wow.
And she was in Ordinary People and I Ought to Be in Pictures and then Empty Nest and so. But she was young. I mean, she was one of the younger.
Yeah.
I think she was the youngest cast member
Wow.
at 21. She was. I think no. Lorenzo Lamas might have been, or what? He might have been.
Not
a little bit
Lorenzo
different.
Lamas.
Let me say, I had to
Wait,
look up who he was. Just I'm like, I know that face, but the blonde hair.
Yeah, they
threw me.
dyed his hair blonde.
And I'm like, who's that face? And I said, and he was like, who was Lorenzo
Tom.
Lamas?
Tom, the football player that Sandy
know.
starts dating.
Who's the
Yeah,
one?
I'm like the guy, that guy.
His father said, "You look marvelous."
I know. I thought
Realized
it
he was, and I never noticed before that, but for some random reason, he is shirtless at the carnival. It's like a blur. But I'm like, what happened to his shirt? I'm like, why is he just wearing shorts at the carnival?
Deleted scene, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a Blu-ray extra.
Yeah.
There are a couple of scenes out there that were extras on some of the DVD collections that they lost the original. All they had were the dailies, which are done in black and white. And so there's some scenes that are out there on YouTube that are in black and white.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
But yeah, I would if the musical was ever performed locally, the only part I could do is Vince Fontaine because I can't sing or dance. I'm what they call in the acting world a single threat.
He
And I'm
dances
barely
in the
even
carnival.
that.
I'm a
Yeah.
non-threat.
I'm like a half a threat, but I could probably pull off a Vince Fontaine part.
What, creeping on the high school girl?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm
You'd
sure
have to
she did.
practice for a little bit, but yeah.
I think he put an aspirin in my Pepsi. Speaking of Pepsi, I don't know if you noticed, but the Coca-Cola signs are all blurred in this movie, and I thought that was something they did recently. They actually did that for the original production because they had a product placement deal with Pepsi.
Right, there is a very predominant Pepsi logo in the intro,
Yes.
which I had forgot how poorly animated the intro was.
Oh, the intro's awful.
And Firestone. Firestone was in there too. I noticed it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the song, which a lot of people think is Barry Gibb wrote the song.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
Frankie Valli sings the
Amazing
song.
song. What an amazing.
And
Right,
Frankie
I mean-
Valli was everybody.
Come on.
We look like one of those animated
Well,
fake
share
I
it.
can't. I love it so much.
I was in the grocery store, I don't know, a month ago, and that came on.
You can't help
And
it.
you're walking down the aisle. I mean, you just got more pep in your step.
that
You're just grabbing
strut.
stuff off the shelves. You don't care what you're buying. I'm like, what's all this stuff? Who cares? Grease is the word.
This is the word. Absolutely.
Oh, geez.
But there's a couple interesting things about. So yeah, Frankie Valli could have been the teen heartthrob. Come on, Adam.
I'm saying the more music you play, the lower the score gets.
Oh, Adam.
Adam, you've got to expand your horizons. And I mean, I'm not a musical fan.
No,
at
I
all.
think he could leave his horizon right where it is with this movie.
Oh,
man.
Calhoun, how dare you?
This is so harsh.
I forgot what I was going to say, but that's all I got. I
Did,
guess.
do you have any facts or a quiz or anything for anybody?
I was going to do some quizzes, but I have some facts instead.
Okay, give us
I
some.
think we'll just do the facts. You want to do the opening?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, so freaky.
So the original person that was supposed to be Danny Zuko in this movie was not John Travolta. Does anybody know who it was? It was Henry Winkler.
Oh.
Yes, he was offered it actually, and he turned it down. He said, I don't want to be typecast because he was the Fonz already.
Yeah.
And he's older too, isn't he? Is he older than Travolta?
Yeah, he's probably a little bit older.
Yeah, and that wouldn't have worked.
He also didn't have black hair, and he was an Italian. He's a short Jewish.
I bet he
guy.
can sing better.
Who knows? But Carrie Fisher was almost Sandy.
Well, there we go. That would have been interesting.
But once John Travolta was on board, he insisted it be Olivia Newton-John.
Interesting. And they've released a Christmas album together just
I
a few
know.
years ago.
Really?
If you really enjoy the meshing of Newton-John and Travolta,
Well, early on, Sandy was also supposed to be Marie Osmond,
Yeah.
but she turned it down because of her Mormon beliefs. She said
Right.
that the bad girl transformation was too much for her. And somehow Lucille Ball was involved in the casting.
Well, because Lucy Arnaz was being considered, and Lucy was too much of a demanding parent, and they basically said not worth it.
Yeah. And well, she even said she wouldn't even let her daughter go audition for the promiscuous troublemaker role.
whoa.
That would have been interesting too.
I already mentioned that Sandy Dombrowski was changed to Sandy Olsen to make her Australian. We also mentioned Jeff Conaway was already in Grease as Danny Zuko. Also, Richard Gere and Patrick Swayze played Danny Zuko on Broadway.
Yeah. I knew that.
Well, and Travolta had been in Grease on tour as Duty.
Yes. And now okay, this is the spookiest thing at all. So the song "Look at Me, I'm Sandra Dee," the original play mentions heartthrob Sal Mineo, but he was murdered in 1976. So the writers changed it to Elvis Presley.
Right.
And the day that they filmed that scene, Elvis Presley died.
Oh my gosh.
How about that?
Wow.
That's
That's a freaky fact.
That is a freaky fact.
That's too freaky.
Well, is it as freaky as who Jeff Conway married?
Who did Jeff Conway marry?
Olivia Newton-John's sister, because he was so infatuated with her.
Wow.
Her name's like Ronnie Newton-John or something like that. Yeah, that is weird. And also, this movie killed Jeff Conway.
Yeah, in a way, you could argue John Travolta killed Jeff Conway by insisting on taking that number.
Oh, what could have been?
That could have been, but he, at the end of Beauty School Dropout, when they're flying across on the ropes, Jeff Conway fell. That was he injured himself twice, I think, in the movie.
Wow.
I know he fell during Grease Lightning.
Yeah, was on the Shimmy Shack? Well. Did he get hurt on the Shimmy Shack?
Maybe, but he got addicted to painkillers, and he was a drug addict, and that's what led to his eventual untimely death. Not a timely death, an untimely death.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago already, too.
I think that's about it. The Beach Boys were almost in there instead of
Sha-na-na.
Sha-na-na. The garage number belongs to Kinnicky, the stage version. Well, you did mention that. In the play, the game called themselves the Burger Palace Boys, not the T-Birds.
Wow.
Originally. And Elvis, I mentioned he died, but they had offered it to him to be the teen idol, and he turned it down.
Oh, wow.
And then he died. But that would have been horrible. That was big Elvis.
Bring us down here with your Grease facts. Wow. Well, that's crazy. To bring things back up, and I feel terrible that we didn't mention it earlier, but it is Adam's birthday today.
That's right.
Oh, happy birthday.
Picked a better movie for him.
So Adam, the suffering is over, Adam.
Happy birthday to you.
He doesn't want any songs.
Happy. Oh, that's right. No songs. Sorry.
No songs. You're going to lower his score even more.
Just no Grease songs.
I'll do it as a serious poem. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
We'll
do it as Shatner. Shatner's going to space.
That was a little Shatner.
Before he gets his launch.
Is it almost launch time?
Sorry. For what? Well, I guess we should score this stuff.
The EriDan rating bot 6000. EriDan rating 6000. EriDan now activated.
All right. Well, now this is going to be interesting. Well, Dan, this was your movie. You put this on the wheel, so you get to start. And then you can call on people.
All right. Let me do the big.
Nice.
Do we have any of the Grease ones behind me?
I'm gonna mute Cody just for a second because we're getting lots of road noise, Cody. So you're muted for a second. Go ahead, Dan.
Like I said, this movie was very, very big in my childhood. I was 7, I think, when it came out in 78, and I turned 8 in August. It came out in the summer. I remember that, and I always thought it was Star Wars, but I think it was Jaws. The neighbor kids wanted to go see Jaws, and all the boys went to see Jaws, and I went with all the girls to see Grease instead at the Beaver Valley Mall.
Yep.
And Grease opened number 2 that weekend, and then it was number 1 the rest of the summer.
Wow.
They're going to need a bigger boat. So I think it's a great movie. I'm going to ignore everybody's negativity. I don't care because it's a fun movie, and it's a 96 to me.
Wow.
Wow.
There you go.
Woo. Starting strong.
Yes. And we'll go to it's dark right now, but there's Cody.
All right, I'll unmute him. All right, Cody, we can hear you now.
Okay. So I processed this literally all day today at work because I want to be able to, if I could, you discussed at the beginning about rating movies and everything as long as they're consistent. I'm changing the way that I'm rating movies in my head, but the other movies would have received a score. So I'm accurate so far, and this is a good time to switch it because everything's still the same. The movie was very well done. I mean, it's iconic. All of my high school did for their senior play. I can't deny that it's huge, but for me, it's just, again, like I said, it's nothing that I'm going to Tuesday night if it's on TV or something, or even a Friday night if I have nothing else to do. Just being honest, I wouldn't sit down and watch this movie without a reason or someone else to watch it. So, movie, because of how iconic it is, but how much I don't care. A 79.
79. Right.
All right, 79.
Fair.
Frenchie?
Okay. I agree with Dan. I love this movie inexplicably. Like, I can't justify any of the issues with it, nor do I want to. I think the first time I saw this movie, I was probably in middle school and kind of just assumed that would be what high school was like. It was absolutely nothing like my high school experience. But watching the closing scene of the carnival and, you know, these young adults who are about to take off, presumably, into their life, go to college or do whatever they're going to do, but they have this feeling that they'll be friends forever. Like, that brought back so many memories of high school and how you just think, like, this is the best time of my life. Well, some of us, you know, like, this is such a great time in my life and I don't want to leave it. And I'll always be friends with these people. And that was really nostalgic. So much so, in fact, that I dug out my high school class ring to wear tonight. The last time I wore this ring was a year that won't be named, but it was in high school. So,
Where I thought you were going to say you actually reached out to some old high school friends.
I actually am still in touch with like a group of girlfriends from high school that, you know, we get together
so
once
am I.
a month virtually. Yeah. And so maybe that kind of spoke to me too. But again, I mean, Adam, it's your birthday. We can agree to disagree. Happy birthday, by the way. I love the music in this. Again, can't explain it. I'm not saying it's great. I just love it. How can you not like? I mean, all of it. It's so fun. It's so much fun. I would watch this movie a million times if it was on TV, and I give it 88.
Ooh.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Oh, here we go, Coach.
Well, let me just start by saying I didn't hate it. You know, I'm not going to give it.
We're going to ring that bell like we always dreamed of.
I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. It had moments that were good. It had moments that were awful. My biggest problem with the movie wasn't the problematic plot points or the misogyny or any of that stuff. It was that John Travolta is just not a very good actor and not a very good singer, and he's the lead in the movie. That really pulls it down for me.
But he can dance.
And I can't, I mean, but it's not just this movie. I really don't like Travolta in pretty much anything he does other than Welcome Back, Kotter. I just don't think he's a very good actor. And so that hurt. Some of the songs were really good, no question. I mean, I've always loved Frankie Valli, so that's a big plus. The ending with Olivia Newton-John changing, I know some people have a big problem with that. The interesting thing there is that was a very deliberate decision by the original writers because they were actually spoofing the old style 50s movies where the bad boy would date the good girl and he would always change at the end and so they were turning that on its head and saying, well, what's wrong with her changing to be a bad girl? And so, you know, it doesn't read well in modern times, but I understood why they did it. And it doesn't really bother me that much. It doesn't resonate with me. Part of it is because it's a musical I've never been that fond of, even though I love a lot of musicals. I loved seeing the cameos or the small roles from the old, you know, Eve Arden, from Joan Blondell, Sid Caesar. That was fun. Yeah, I was really glad they gave those people small roles. They were fun to see. It was not a badly made movie. It certainly lucked into, well, not lucked into, I think it was partly deliberate, but the timing, the late 70s was a massive 50s nostalgia time.
Yes.
Happy Days was on, this came out, the Buddy Holly story came out, Sha Na Na had their TV series. It was just, 50s nostalgia was all over the place. It's like for a while, you know, you go back a few years ago, and 80s nostalgia was everywhere. You go through these cycles where people from that generation reach a certain age and the nostalgia kicks in. And it seems like the late 70s was that time for the 50s.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, a lot of why it did so well. And ultimately, I can't give it any higher than a 72.
Okay. Now, my mom, I'm going to give hers real quick so we can bring things back up, because my mom actually was the class of 58, which is what they were. They were all the class of 58. So they were my mom's age.
Yeah.
And she saw it when she was, 38.
Yeah.
So
And
she
give
gives
it a
it
97.
She gives it a 97.
She can dance to it.
Yes.
It's got a good beat, and you can dance to it.
Yay.
All right, you guys.
All right.
We got 3 scores here.
So I think we're going to do Reagan's first. Okay, so I have her comments. Olivia Newton-John sounded like a Brit trying to do the transatlantic American accent, so it's not really Australia, but that's okay. This movie is gross. Just kidding. It's disgusting. The only thing I like about it is John Travolta, who is not really cute, but I like him. And it's boring. Let's see. Literally, let's see. Let me find it. Let me find her whole thing. Okay. Now, 1 point for the ocean in the beginning. 2 points for a cool and creative opening that showed the time period and fun of the movie. +5 for John Travolta. +1 for cool cars and costumes. +1 for Rizzo throwing the milkshake at the dumb boy. She said, I didn't care about the characters except Frenchie. Otherwise, it was boring. The songs were not fun. And it was disgusting. Kids are so stupid. Kids. And then I sent her, because she didn't see the end of the movie, I sent her the video that I sent to Dan and Eric of John Travolta singing in front of the drive-in. She goes, okay, +1 for the drive-in scene. So she gave it a score of 10. Yeah, she was not impressed by this. Yikes.
Well, yikes.
And no wonder she skipped the show tonight.
She's actually getting ready to leave for Ocean City, and she has a lot of work to do before she goes. So she couldn't be on tonight.
Wow.
She might be able to jump in at the end.
Maybe she'll meet some guy at the beach.
Yeah,
There we
maybe.
go.
No.
Stay away from that dock.
Yeah.
Don't go under it.
Definitely.
Okay, you go.
Well, okay, so when I was growing up, I don't know, I was probably middle school when this came out. And
Yeah.
it was the soundtrack was probably the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, like, my parents weren't into it, even though they grew up in that age. But I think it hit pretty close to home with them.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Wade was a preemie.
Yeah. So,
Not really.
We're just all like, really? Oh, okay.
so
Okay, go on.
so with the music, and I mean, I did like the scenes, and I used to like Olivia Newton-John back in those days, and I'm watching it, I couldn't understand why. It just had to be that ending scene, I'm guessing. But
Yeah, the black hot pants. He went, oh yeah.
and those shoes, that did it.
The shoes.
Yeah.
Candy.
The cigarette.
So I'll give it an 85.
85. All right.
That was not what we discussed earlier.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Oh,
That's funny.
nice.
It was the ending.
Some discussions later tonight about Olivia Newton-John's shoes.
Anyway. I remember my neighbors had the album. We did not. My mom was not a big fan of the 50s, even because she was a little kid in the 50s, and it was just not her thing. She was not nostalgic for that at all. So that wasn't something we played or watched in our house. Anyway, but my neighbors had the album, and it was all over the radio. I do remember the songs, but listening to them now, I'm like, some of them are really great. But listening to Rizzo sing whatever she was singing at the end, I'm like,
There are
what?
worse things I could do.
Right. I'm like, ugh. But I love Stockard Channing. I always have. I don't know what it is about her. I think she's adorable, and I loved her in this movie and all the other stuff she's done. West Wing, and I liked Dinah Manoff was really cute in this movie too. You guys were talking about it earlier before we started, and her hair at the drive-in. I'm like, who goes to the drive-in looking like, I don't know. She just came from the beauty parlor, but she looked cute. And Dee Khan, they were just, it's really cute. I think they had some really great characters.
Dee Khan was definitely a high point.
She was. And Reagan said Frenchie was the only one she cared about, because she had something that she wanted to do with her life. She was planning her future, that kind of thing. But that's Reagan. But I liked it. I think I would give it probably a 78.
Okay. All right. Speaking of which, 10? 10?
Y'all are lucky you got a 10. I had a -1 because of Olivia Newton-John's stupid accent. I was like, no.
You know, that's
I know
how she
people
actually
from Sydney,
talks,
okay?
though.
Yeah, that's
how her voice is.
That
She's
is how
actually
she talks.
born in England, raised in Australia. That's actually, if you look at any of her interviews, that's actually her voice.
That's her voice. Yeah.
Told you. No, she's not Australian. What the heck? Dude, you can't even lie about it. She's not Australian at all. I could not handle it.
She lived in
I could
Australia
not.
from the age of 6 until like 25. That's not Australian?
Dan, you're freezing up again.
Good.
That was 100% just an excuse.
How convenient.
Isn't that
Tell me about
convenient?
it.
I'm freezing
Say
up.
somebody
She grew up in Australia since she was 6. So she was born in England, but she moved to Australia when she was 6, and that's where she was raised. That's where she went to school. That's actually how she talks. Like in interviews, that's her voice. That's her.
It's not Australian. I don't understand.
It's not Australian enough for you.
No.
She wasn't acting enough for her.
She wasn't, Paul Hogan enough.
Nobody was good. I could not. John Travolta was good. What a guy.
Wow. Dave says exactly right.
Yeah, Dave downgraded.
John Travolta's the low light of this movie for sure.
I just like him because of Hairspray. That's literally all.
I've only ever seen one movie I like John Travolta in, and it was the train movie.
But the original Hairspray movie is so much better than the stupid musical remake with Travolta.
I never
The
watched
John
that
Waters
one.
version
I
is
liked
much
it.
better.
It was I grew up with that Hairspray movie, and so like that's what I was like.
See,
That's
Adam
it.
Fisher's
I
better
could
than
not.
Xander's
Adam.
another
Frenchie?
bad movie, Adam.
Xander's
Frenchie
fun.
was the only good character, and that's it. Nobody else's story mattered to me. I was like, this is so dumb. All they do is have sex with each other. Leave me alone. I could not handle it. It was just, I was literally.
That's what we actually said.
There's only one couple that actually did it in the whole movie.
It was gross. They
Well,
just talk about it the whole
maybe
time. I was like,
Cha-Cha,
that's what I want to
right?
hear about.
Do you forget what high school was like?
No, I blacked it out because it's all irritating. No way, I cannot. It's so disgusting. I
You guys
can't
didn't break
handle. I
out in
can't handle any of
song?
that stuff. It just grosses me out.
Oh yeah, we used to break out in song constantly.
You pull up to the
Yep.
And fight with giant bananas.
yeah, we pull up to the Cougar.
Way
Cougar
too
in
much
front of the high
for me.
school.
Well, didn't you guys do the song in high school where it was like, where people walked through the door and other people were singing and stuff? So you guys did musical in high school.
Reagan, your dad.
Sort of. We didn't do that. I did like a musical workshop one time, and I was Rizzo
No,
in that one, and we had to do stuff.
no, that song you did where they filmed you through the whole school, the whole student body.
Was that
Oh
your
yeah, the lip dub thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Reagan, I am curious since we're
We need to find that now.
scored. I mean, we're at least some of these songs had to be at least somewhat familiar to you. You had to have recognized.
Yeah, because
some of
I
them.
saw it in 10th grade and like some high school did it. I think it was Mohawk did it.
Okay.
And like so I knew like the songs. Like I knew some of the songs and I knew like who would sing them and stuff. I knew that there was like the one about Grease Lightning. I knew Beauty School Dropout. Like I knew some of the songs. I just like they're just not ones that I like that click with me for some reason. I don't even
Wow.
I just didn't like it at all.
Reagan with a 10. There you go. I believe you were the only one who watched it who had never seen it before.
Yeah.
No, I had not seen the whole movie.
That's right. David not ever seen it in its entirety before. That's right. So there you go.
Eric.
So I can't save it. There's no score I could give this that would save that, and that's not the point. I'm with Denise and Dan. I love this movie. I do. I love not everything about it. It's not perfect, but there's no reason not to watch this movie when it's on. I mean, it's fun. It's a good time. I was, we came home last night from dinner and I discovered my PS2 was broken. I was in a terrible mood and this movie lifted my spirits. It's a powerful movie. So I gave it a 90. Because I think it's an A. I mean, there's definitely some problems. Where no, it's not. And I understand somebody new coming to it. But boy, if you watch it in your preteens, I feel like it sticks with you forever. It's
Oh, totally. What I would give to go to a Grease sing along, right? Like, how much fun would that be?
Oh well, we're gonna have the EriDan Grease sing along next Monday night.
Oh, jeez.
I guess that's how old Adam is, huh?
And Adam with a 44 for Grease and for his birthday. Yay!
Happy birthday. We
Denise,
won't
you were talking about how this movie made you nostalgic for the friends that you'll never lose touch with, and that sort of whole feeling, how real or how imaginary it is. The movie that does that for me, even though it's at a different age, is Stand By Me. That has that feel for me.
The songs in that movie are not.
Oh yeah. The song, your typical Stephen King
numbers.
Yeah.
The dance numbers are just not the same.
No.
All right, hold on. Here we go.
Accent, and I was bald, and I have all these reasons why I couldn't
Hear
do
that
it.
voice?
We did a screen test. Chemistry was there. It worked. And when John came,
That's
to
what she
see me in
sounds
the
like.
house, and how could you stand ready to get convinced? Right, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right. Well, here's the bad news. So Grease did not end up on the second page. I'm happy to say, even though we're getting a lot of movies on the second page, it did end up in the third column, right below the campaign and above Buck Privates. So yeah, Grease unfortunately could not. I knew it'd be stuck in the 70s somewhere. That was my guess.
That's perhaps the swingiest, lowest to high, 10 to a 97.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild spectrum. And then on the second page, Howard the Duck has bumped down to the fifth column now. Continues to fall. Will anything ever score lower than Howard the Duck? It's hard to say.
There are some of these movies that I can't believe
only if
how
we
low
try
they
to.
are.
Well, you know what? That's because it's all relative.
It is.
It is.
relative.
We
Yeah.
never know.
No, you can never tell where it's going to end up. Well, it's so interesting when there is a consensus and something rates super high. But at the end of the year, we are going to take a look at individual people's top rated movies. So I think we'll take a look at the list and see what movies people rated highest throughout the year. So
Everybody will have their own top 5.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we'll see it. And we'll see if you actually agree with your top 5.
Right.
If you're like, oh my goodness, why did I rate that so high? So that'll be interesting. So we will do that towards the end of the year. But towards the end of this week, you'll have to watch another movie. So
Adam says if we watch The Room, it'll score lower than Howard the Duck. I thought.
No, it's just Room.
Room.
Wait. There's a room.
Oh,
there's
Room.
room, and there is womb. Okay, you gotta specify.
Oh,
What
is
is
The Room
the-
the one with that crazy guy?
Was that Room Raider with Angelina Jolie? Or?
I love Room Raider. All right, let's do this. It's everybody's favorite time. Except for my computer, apparently. There it goes. It's having a little trouble loading the list. The lists are so long. Let me see if I can actually get the first wheel to load. Uh-oh. Oh, no. We're migrating your collection to the cloud. Okay. Hope that I don't lose. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. All right. Let me give it a preliminary spin here. No, I'm not. We'll leave it.
Oh, wait, before you do this, The Room is the one with Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, The Room. Oh, that's true.
That's one. And then he that was remade with Disaster Artist with.
Well, it wasn't remade. It was a movie about the making.
Right,
of
it was
the
a movie about the making of called The Disaster Artist, which is actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
All right.
But neither one of those is on the wheel.
No.
So, all right, here we go. Let's see where we're going to end up, what we're going to do. And survey says, surprise.
Can we make an executive decision to just make this a comedy for Adam's birthday? Let's let Adam pick what he wants at the wheel for his birthday.
Oh, okay, that's true. We'll let Adam, for your birthday, you get to choose whether it's viewer's choice, comedy, or Why So Serious, Adam. That's your
there we go.
Birthday surprise is you get to choose the category that we're going to go with. So we'll give Adam a moment since there is a delay over the interwebs.
And what's crazy is right now is the time we normally start, and we're almost finished.
Wow.
Oh, we're almost finished.
Viewer's choice.
And there you go. And I think that's a very wise choice. So it's a viewer's choice. It's not a double.
But not a double.
All right, but not a double feature. But all right, let me give me a second here to get everybody's name into the wheel. We're just gonna let everybody participate because we're awesome like that. We're not gonna worry about whether you've had a chance to do this before or not. I know that Dan's mother wasn't. So Susan, let us know if you want to play. And let me see, Reagan's here, and let me see. I need a spot for Dave. Cody. Let me see. Blah 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 blah. And we're gonna give Adam 2 spots for his birthday. Double his chances. Double his chances to come up on the wheel. Yeah. And Denise, are you playing with this?
No, you can skip.
Okay.
Sue Rosenberg, are you in?
Sorry, yeah, I did that. Okay. And if you do come up, you'll be given a moment or two to think about what movie you want to choose. So I think that's it. Is that everybody? Did I have everybody in there? I can never. I always get messed up. Wait, I think I skipped you again.
He's on there, isn't he?
Is he on there?
Oh, he's not.
Yeah, it was on there earlier. Oh well.
All right, so you can take Susan off.
All right, there we go. So everybody, make sure you see your own name. I cannot be responsible. It's all very confusing.
Okay.
I think we're good. All right, here we go. I'm going to give it a little shuffle. Whoop. And let's find out who gets to choose our movie. Oh, my goodness. Dan Rosenberg.
Happy birthday, Adam. Go ahead. You can have it.
Oh, he hands over the reins to Adam.
Even though he gave a 44 degrees.
Super Troopers 2. No, I'm kidding.
But didn't the last movie Adam picked? It was like two
excellent movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I have no hate except for Super Troopers.
Are you
Adam says, am I
sure?
sure? Yeah, okay, here's what I'll say, Adam. Can you do a comedy? A comedy or a sci-fi? That's what I'll say. Those are my choice. But then, Adam, you can pick the actual movie. Happy birthday.
Oh, what's this? What's this?
We'll see what happens.
Limitations on wishes? What are you like the Aladdin?
Genie.
That didn't work out. I know.
Well, he said, "Are you sure?" I could have said, "Nah, you know what? Let's just do Back to the Future again."
You could have.
That score back up. All right. Well,
worse. You know, it might do worse if you're not.
The
It's
suspense.
possible.
Oh, the suspense.
The suspense is.
What's that I'm going to put up?
Is that wig hot, Denise?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is that wig uncomfortable and hot?
No, it's actually not too bad. It's better than the fur coat.
I'll give Adam a
That's true.
minute. Is anybody else watching Squid Game?
Oh, it's on my list.
No.
Should I do it?
I watched one episode.
You have to watch them all. It really gets to you.
I probably
I was
won't.
gonna say, is it like, do I need to wait for the weekend, or I'm gonna be up till 5 in the morning binging?
My son watched it and he kept telling me, you gotta watch it. And I'm like, Squidward? What? And then a guy at work who's Canadian was like, oh my God, you guys all have to watch this. And we're like, what's it about? He goes, I'm not even gonna tell you. Just watch it. Go in blind. Don't do any research. Don't read anything about it.
What is it?
Just watch it.
Squid Game.
Squid Game.
Yeah,
Squid
good. That is on my list.
It's filmed in Korea, and the guy took 10 years. He kept trying to get this thing made, and finally somebody greenlit it.
Wow.
And you can watch it dubbed, or you can watch it with subtitles. but they say if you watch the subtitles that they actually translated it wrong.
Oh.
So there's certain parts of the story don't make sense.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the dub is better than the subtitles apparently.
Interesting.
But it's very layered. It's gross. I mean, there's some grossness to it, but it's very layered, and it does actually have a message. When you get through it, you go, "Oh, that's what he's trying to say."
Yeah.
So that's one thing. While we're talking amongst ourselves,
That's one thing.
Yeah, so my experience with squids in Korea was we were at a club there one night, and this old lady comes walking in with a bucket full of like food and stuff, and this girl runs over and buys something and comes back and it's a flattened out squid, and she's just like, chewing on it. So,
Gross.
you had to be
call
there.
Mari.
Were we supposed to eat it or what?
Yeah, she was eating it.
I don't know if I want to watch something stressful.
Nah.
It does get to, it does get to you, but then once you're in it, you're like, okay, it's one of those okay, next episode. I'll just watch the beginning, and the next thing you know, an hour went by. Like, crap.
Yeah.
Next episode.
All right.
Adam has picked his movie.
Adam has made a choice.
Ooh.
What is it?
It is Aliens, the James Cameron directed one.
Oh yeah,
That fits your sci-fi or comedy.
There it is.
It's got Paul Reiser in it.
1986.
Like appropriate for spooky season, right?
Sort of horror too, but
We haven't watched an R movie for quite some time. We've been in the PG to PG-13 for quite some time now.
And I just started watching The Alien not too long ago because I wanted to watch the whole series. So this is perfect. So Aliens it is, Adam.
Wait, is there a difference between Alien and Aliens?
Yes.
An S. Yeah, there's an
Oh.
S at the end.
Right.
Aliens is the
Those
sequel.
are different movies.
Aliens is sequel.
Yeah,
Oh,
Aliens
gotcha.
is the
Okay.
sequel to
Second of there are 4 movies that are part of
No,
this?
no,
there's more now. What's the original one? Isn't it the
Alien versus
Alien.
Predator and all
No, no,
those?
no, no, no,
Alien
no.
Requiem and all those, yeah.
What's the first one?
Alien.
Alien.
No.
Yeah.
The new first one that they
Oh.
made.
Prometheus?
Yeah, that's the one.
Prequel.
Yeah.
Oh, really? A prequel to that?
I think Reagan watched that for something, didn't he?
It was
Reagan?
really weird.
Prometheus.
It was really weird.
The first 2 movies, Alien and Aliens, definitely hold up. After that, it's very hit or miss.
Yeah.
Let me see. It's streaming on AMC apparently.
All My Children?
Yeah, no. The American Movie Classics. Don't you know that?
Yeah, like they show movies occasionally now.
For free. Otherwise, it's available for rent for anywhere from $3 to as much as you want to pay, I guess.
Check your
Well,
library.
Adam is right that
Library.
sometimes the sequel's better than the original, and this is one of them.
Yeah, I definitely.
I don't know. I'd rate them about equal, but it is very good. Yeah.
So shall we just score it now?
The very first one was pretty good for the time frame that it was shot in. Definitely.
The first one to me is more suspenseful. The second one is a bit more horror-ish, but they're both very good movies.
Well, you kind of know what's going to happen in the second one. After
Yeah, that's true. The shtick is up. Yeah.
I've never seen either one.
Yeah, neither have I. I'm assuming I don't have to watch the first one. I can just pick up with the second. I mean, I've seen Spaceballs, and there's a nod to Alien in it, so I think I'm caught up.
Yeah. Who's the guy who plays Hudson on that one? He's in some other things. He's pretty good. The guy who plays Hudson, so you'll have to watch it and see.
I love the soundtrack. I mean, it's just amazing.
Oh, Bill Paxton.
How's the dancing?
Yeah.
How's the dancing in Aliens?
Oh, when the alien comes out, I was like, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my
Hello,
darling.
my honey.
Hello."
Yeah.
That was actually one of the movies.
I would watch.
Was that in Spaceballs?
That was in Spaceballs.
Yes, that was
That's the
Spaceballs,
part I
yeah.
know.
That was the Alien / Bugs Bunny, or One Froggy Evening mashup. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
Crazy.
Well, that is exciting.
Well, that is exciting. That'll be something different.
Definitely different.
Completely different. Awesome.
That was my favorite movie when I was going to see until Back to the Future came out, and then I forgot all about Aliens.
Oh.
Because it came out Back to the Future came out a couple month or so afterwards, I think.
Listen, I watched that one in the theater last year, Back to the Future, and it was so cool.
Yeah.
It was so cool to watch in the theater.
What would you give that movie?
Oh boy, 11.
Did you happen to see on James Corden when Daniel Craig was on? He did one of his whole montages of movies where they rapidly transition from one movie to the next, and they were doing Back to the Future, and all of a sudden Christopher Lloyd walks in and goes, "No, you're doing it all wrong," and he kicked James Corden out and sat down in the car and did the scene.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'll have to look that up.
Denise, if you care about storytelling, watch the first movie. If you don't, you're fine. I'll say that. I'll say that.
It does sort of lay down the mythology in the first movie. So
knowing the first movie helps a lot.
I have a feeling it's going to be like this.
No, that's this one. That's this one.
The first movie.
It's both to a degree, but
the first movie I showed at the library to my teen group.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
They chose it. They chose it. It was, I would say, maybe 2009 or so that I did it. Maybe 2008 that I haven't done teens in a long time, but they chose it, and now they're all like 30. So, but yeah, so they watched it, and I was kind of like this, but there were funny parts to it. It's not my favorite kind of thing. So I don't think I saw the second one yet. So that'll be awesome.
Wow. That'll be fun.
The first one was in 79. The second one was 86. The third one was in 92. The fourth was in 97. And they crossed over Alien versus Predator in 2004 and 2007. Then the prequel series started with Prometheus in 2012 and Alien Covenant in 2017.
Yeah, I was in 5th grade when the first one came out.
I remember being at PitCon, the Pittsburgh Comics Convention in Monroeville in 79, and I hadn't seen the movie yet, but they were selling Nostromo caps on the souvenir tables.
I haven't seen it, so I have no idea what that means.
I don't remember.
That's completely lost on me. Wow.
It doesn't give anything away. It's just the name of the ship that they're on.
Oh,
I thought they were actual cats. Now I'm disappointed.
I was thinking it was like that food and a vitamin, like in that TX 1198 movie.
Oh no.
Oh man.
That'll be. I've always wanted to watch. I've always wanted to watch all of them, and if I was unemployed still, I would.
Yeah, I kind of didn't really realize there was any after Aliens, so I'm like,
there's now I want to know the third or the fourth one that's Ripley's in prison and has a shaved head for the entire movie, and it's really an odd film.
Doesn't she like dump herself into the incinerator in one of them?
Don't remember for sure.
Spoilers. Do they do time travel in any of them? Did they ever have a reason to go back and change something?
Yeah, but then someone produces a penny with the wrong date on it, and it just falls apart.
Oh man!
Are there any hand jives in this movie?
No hand jive. Sadly.
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, Adam made a sports comment that has nothing to do with our show, but it's kind of amazing that John Gruden is out as the Las Vegas Raiders coach.
Well, given some of the stuff that came out this last week, it's not surprising.
Yeah.
Well, I missed something then.
Yeah, he had some homophobic and misogynistic.
And also some racist
emails.
comments too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that gets you kicked out of Vegas.
They weren't recent, but they just recently resurfaced.
Yeah. So he has been. He quit before he was fired.
And that gets you kicked out of Vegas. What's the worst?
No idea who that is.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see this or not.
Not good enough for Vegas, huh?
Yo, you can't really see it. This is the whole timeline of the Predator and Alien movies and stuff.
My goodness. What? That's worse.
And no Vin Diesel in any of them.
Yep. Starts in 1987
No
with
Vin Diesel.
the original Predator, and then ends in 2379. But
So
this
are the movies with this timeline.
Yeah.
So like
Can you zoom in at all?
I've seen 28.
I don't know if I can. Can I?
Now, is Alien v Predator on there?
Yes, it's
because that's also
2000
interesting because Predator takes place basically in the present day, more or less.
Correct.
So
yeah.
that anchors it a bit.
I wonder if
I'm like, what's Rambo doing there? I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Let me see if I can open this up. Hang on one second.
I zoomed in on my computer so I could see it.
Well, then can you share your screen?
Well, I can't share my screen if sharing your screen because it'll take you.
Well, that's
no,
done.
I can't.
Hang on. I might be able to. I'm going to stop sharing.
There, boot him out. There you go.
And then I'm going to try to pull it up on an image if this works.
I feel like there's as many aliens as there is.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Worse movies.
Hang on.
It's like a Fast and Furious thing, you know.
Yeah,
geez.
yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
But
They just
only
don't go
2
away. That's what
Greases?
it
Like,
is.
what is wrong with this world?
You're forgetting about Grease Live, Denise.
Yeah, there was supposed to be.
Well, I've actually never seen the second Grease.
So Predator 1, Predator 2,
I remember seeing Predator
AVP, AVPR, and then Predators,
Oh,
and
so-
then the Predator that's coming out. And then this is Prometheus, I believe.
oh my goodness.
Yeah,
And
that
then-
makes sense.
And then Alien Covenant, which
This
hasn't
has
come out yet.
nothing to do with release order.
I know
No,
it
this is
doesn't.
the-
This
this
is a
has to do with
timeline.
This
What?
is internal chronology. Yeah.
I see.
And then Alien.
I see.
Which one's this?
I don't know because Aliens is the 79, right?
Oh yeah, this is
2179?
Alien. No, this has the girl in it. Is that the first one?
No, the first 2022. That's Alien. That poster
Yeah.
was the Alien poster.
Okay, so that's Alien.
Yeah, Aliens.
2137 must be
Aliens.
37 must be Alien because how much time? Oh, that's true though because
That's 15 years.
they have suspended animation, don't
Yeah.
they? Okay, so yeah, timeline is a little messed up from that for that
This
reason.
one might actually, if they did this weird, this one actually might be the video game they came out with.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding. It could be.
You have to stop
Because
this and play a video game for 70.
That picture of Sigourney Weaver holding the girl is definitely Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
correct.
And then, is this a new one? I don't know.
Okay, I lied. I don't want to watch all the movies in this. I take back my previous statement.
Predator's fun.
Predators. I love the Predator movies.
Predator's fun. It's a it's a dumb movie in some ways, but it's a fun movie to watch. It really and it holds up to me.
See, now
He
Adam,
used to-
Oh, really?
he refuses to consider.
Good. I don't disagree with you, Adam. The thing with Predator is that iconic laser focus. It used to be when we'd leave our church, I was driving up to the stoplight to turn onto the road to get home. The way the traffic lights were situated, if it was a red light, it was the triangle of 3 red lights in the distance. It always reminded me of Predator every time I would leave the church.
Mhm.
Well, there we go. I think we've got a movie.
Mhm.
All right.
And I think some people are excited. So get ready for Aliens.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
I've never seen
oh,
it.
Riser.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Wow, what are those shiny things on the ground? I only wonder.
It looks like something out of Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Also,
Just
I
saying.
agree today.
if it's not a type of movie that's
Sideways.
completely out of your wheelhouse and you have the time, it does help to have seen Alien before you see Aliens, but
Yeah.
it definitely isn't required.
But if you might give a 10 to a movie,
or they have like a 10 or 15 minute recap online. Just watch that on YouTube.
that's true. And by the tone, no, I have no idea what that was. I don't know who that was.
And that one I don't have to download or find anywhere streaming because I have the Blu-ray set. So
This is Adam is setting me up already. So I appreciate that. I have no
will
idea
say
what
it's
to
probably
expect.
not in Eric's wheelhouse. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what to expect. I do like Sigourney Weaver sometimes, though. So
Oh, she's excellent. She really.
She's pretty
She
tough.
is-
Pretty good in these ones.
If you're looking at sci-fi, just tough women,
Mhm.
it hard to. It either be Sigourney Weaver in Aliens or
Linda,
Terminator 2.
I was gonna say
Another
Hamilton.
one where you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hamilton.
yeah.
Mhm.
I know her. No.
There you go. Speaking of which, we need Hamilton on the wheel sometime really soon.
Yes. Sorry.
That'd be fantastic. All right, excellent. We'll get back to musicals eventually. Anybody have anything else they'd like to share before we all sing "Happy Birthday" to Adam?
I think there's 2 episodes still to fall or to drop for Only Murders in the Building.
I believe so. I have fallen behind.
I have one more to watch that's already been released, and another one's getting released tomorrow.
I think I'm 2 behind at this point, and both it and What If.
It is enjoyable.
I'm so far behind on What If, it's not even funny.
Yeah,
I haven't
What
even
if you
watched the
weren't
first
though?
episode. I just have no interest in it.
Yeah.
The What Ifs are all out now, at least, so you can binge
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my buddy to come watch it with me, but he's being a turd.
Ted Lasso, awesome.
Yeah, Kent watched all those.
Not Ted Lasso. What if?
What if?
Scarlett Johansson settled with Marvel/Disney.
I started watching Black Widow.
Oh, did she get money?
The terms were not announced.
Oh.
She got money.
Yeah.
She got paid.
So Scarlett Johansson is Disney now.
They have not announced the terms, but she has said that she is satisfied with the results.
Yeah,
She said, "I am
she got her 50
satisfied with
mil.
my care."
It was a low move for them to release it.
It was, especially given that they had actually given her verbal assurances that they weren't going to do that.
And then they released Shang-Chi in theaters.
It should be.
Yep. Oh yeah, and it went gangbusters. So I mean, they've got the money. They did well enough with Shang-Chi that I think they're going to be okay.
Eric, I go to Target the daily to get Morris, and he's still not there.
Still have not gotten a Morris.
No.
Oh man.
I still see him sitting behind Eric.
Let's do a Morris check here on the Target website here and see where they have.
Adam has a really good point about James Cameron. Considering his record, Avatar 2 should be a great, because he does very well with sequels.
I'm so pumped for Avatar 2.
Titanic
2 is awesome. Yeah,
exactly. I can't imagine it's going to be any good.
Try the musical.
I think that was called Raise the Titanic, right? Remember that movie?
That was a documentary.
Pull it up.
No, they actually made a movie. It was interesting.
What they actually did.
There was airplanes in it too, so it's
You're just gonna have to come to the North Fayette Target. It looks like that is that's the place they have them still.
Wow. They
We'll
don't have
just-
them in America?
Reagan, we'll just make a trip to all the Targets.
They will not
in the tri-state area.
They're not available for shipping.
Are they available?
Maryland?
They're
Eric,
still
are
$5.
Are they in Monaca or
They're not.
Cranberry?
No. What's interesting is that if I look in this area, all around this area, Upper St. Clair has limited stock and North Fayette is in stock. Every place else is listed as out of stock.
And I always worry about limited stock because their stock numbers are often off by 1 or 2. So if you go in and have limited stock, they may not actually have it.
Yeah.
She's looking for the Morris stuffed animal thing.
And I think the reason they still have them at ours is that ours was one of the ones that did not sell it at a discount. So there's still $10 at mine, but I think that's why they still have them near me.
Moon?
Huh?
In Moon?
Robinson.
Yeah, in Robinson.
I'll be there on Wednesday. I got to look at airplane.
You should go there. They seem to have it is listed as being in stock.
Look at that boy.
Look at that. You can get a box of them. Get a box of Morris's.
Reagan, if you get one, buy me one. I'll Venmo you. I'll give you $20 cash. Come on.
Oh, there you go. He's paying for both of them. That's perfect.
I got to give it to my sister while she's still locked up in the hospital.
It's fantastic. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. So join Dan. Is this so? This is the exquisite episode of.
This is the one we're going to go out in the field. There's 50 plus cars.
Oh yeah.
Sitting in a field,
covered in blackberries,
all for sale. Some I found are in shipping containers, so there will be some that were protected from the blackberries. And we may or may not leave with one. Who knows?
Oh, you have to leave with one.
We can't actually physically leave with it because they won't release till the title's transferred, and we'll also need a tow truck. So that might be to be continued.
Yeah.
Well, that would be very.
I was watching you talk about paint this week.
Yeah, we talked about paint. I was watching paint dry. That was a boring show.
Wow.
It's the first time I've ever tuned in.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. Next week will be really good.
I hope.
If you have never watched the comedy special, by the way, I posted on Facebook. It's now available for free on YouTube.
Very cool.
Because basically, the free with Prime, they got rid of all things that were like over a year old, and then anything that's not like produced by Amazon now or one of their things, they're not doing it free with Prime anymore.
Oh.
So it's free on YouTube. It's 99 cents on Amazon.
Dang.
And I haven't cleared this with Dan, but I'm going to make an announcement anyways. That sometime before the end of the month, we will do an offline game night for anybody who would like to get together and just play some Jackbox games. So offline, just for fun. More information to come. But sometime before the end of the month, I think.
Yeah, those don't need to be streamed.
No, we won't stream that. But if you're interested, if you're watching and you're like, well, I like to play games, make sure you send us a message over Facebook or something. And we'll make sure that you get the information when we get it scheduled.
Okay.
Awesome.
Good.
All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful week, and we'll see you and your aliens next Monday.
See you then.
Good night.
We're doing that.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Goodbye.